A Brazos County Fire Department says they're stretched thin when it comes to paramedics, how they're looking for help to bridge the gap. And a former Aggie football star is working with the REACH project to help low-income students. Your KRHD News starts right now.
Connecting the Brazos Valley, this is KRHD News.
Good evening and happy Friday. Thanks for watching KRHD News at 5. I'm Hallie Jones. The College Station Fire Department is seeing a major shortage in paramedics. KRHD reporter Rachel Esbayat shows us how they're working to fix that problem.
The standard at College Station Fire Department is to have a minimum of one paramedic on an ambulance and fire engine, but the paramedic shortage is putting a strain on resources. The job of a paramedic is a demanding one that requires hand-on clinical training. The pandemic delayed opportunities for training at a time when the fire department needs more hands on deck. The College Station Fire Chief says the department needs a minimum of 54 paramedics, but they only have 47. The shortage hasn't impacted response times, but responders feel the strain.
What people see is the work getting done. Now on the back end, what you're having is a lot of people working overtime, a lot of people doing more than their fair share, and most of us just do it and don't ask questions because it's what we signed up for.
The department is applying for a grant to help train current firefighters and EMTs to become paramedics to fill the gap. Paramedics are also being offered a bonus to hire. In College Station, Rachel Esbayat, KRHD News.
And some benefits to becoming a paramedic or EMT include small classes with one-on-one hands-on learning. You'll also have access to a state-of-the-art EMS lab and flexible schedules. EMT and paramedic courses are also eligible for VA benefit assistance. You could also earn semester credit hours through the American Council on Education. With cooler temperatures and significant rainfall throughout the Lone Star State, forage and crop producers are doing their best to fight a familiar insect. Texas A&M AgriLife Extension says armyworms are populating around various crops. Moisture from the rain and harvesting forages can produce a large number of them since they don't consume dry plants. Armyworms also have moths that can lay up to 2,000 eggs that hatch in 2 to 3 days.
If we allow those armyworms to consume all of that forage, that reduces grazing area for livestock, that reduces the amount of hay that is produced to feed cattle later. As far as other crops, it has a huge impact on our agricultural systems.
She suggests producers use pesticide applications on 2 or more armyworms per square foot. She also says to scout more often and every morning for armyworms.
There's no scenario in which they can be canceled.
The 2020 Olympics are finally underway in Tokyo after being delayed for a year due to the pandemic. These opening ceremonies were unlike any in the past, with no fans in attendance, only about 950 people allowed in the stands. Only about a third of the Team USA's athletes participated in the opening ceremony, but there are fears the Olympics could become a super spreader event. Hundreds gathered to protest the games, their chants so loud they could be heard inside the arena. At least 110 accredited individuals tested positive, but officials insist the games will go on. An early report this week that Texas and Oklahoma are working to leave the Big 12 and join the SEC. According to the Austin American-Statesman, the deal is almost done. This is reportedly something the two schools in the SEC have been working on for at least 6 months. The report also says that Texas A&M was left out of the discussions and weren't even told about it. This move would shake up the college football landscape, leaving the Big 12 without 2 of the biggest teams. Though unclear to what degree the move will have an impact on the Baylor Bears and the rest of the Big 12. We'll have more on that tonight at 6 and 10. If you've been in College Station long enough, you know there is a common theme. Aggies help Aggies. KRHD News reporter Hannah King takes us inside a Vision Day in partnership with Vaughn's Vision, a foundation founded by former Aggie and current NFL star Von Miller and the REACH project.
The REACH project saw a gap in accessibility for affordable eye care within their Aggie service families and wanted to partner with Vaughn's Vision to help fill it.
But which one is your favorite out of 1 versus 2?
40 children of the REACH project's Essential Aggies received a free eye exam Friday and, if needed, a new pair of glasses too.
I like the color of them, and I like the way it makes me feel. I think they make me feel good.
It's amazing, yeah.
For Dulce Sanchez, a new pair of glasses will give her the freedom to choose where she wants to sit within her classrooms this upcoming school year.
Not having to sit in the front of the class.
We knew that one of the most important things that a child can have is the confidence in sight and being able to go into a classroom and not having to worry about not being able to see or being embarrassed about having to move around to the front or ask questions for special help.
The nonprofit reached out to Vaughn's Vision, an organization giving kids the gift of sight, and they made it happen Friday for children of REACH families ages 5 to 17.
3 or 4?
4.
Once we got that door open, they heard the story, it was a done deal right there, so it was pretty amazing.
I brought in both of my kids today for glasses for back to school because I know they need them.
Zuniga is an Essential Aggie and works in dining services on campus and is happy to see Aggies like Von Miller helping Aggies.
It sets a good example, so it's really great.
Using A&M resources to serve the entire A&M community, Gerald says will leave a long-lasting impact for families who need them.
To have a leader of that A&M community, an Aggie champion, come out and really exemplify what that means is just truly awesome. You know, it's humbling to see someone so successful, willing to give back to the place he came from, and to those who really need it the most, the essential employees on campus.
I just want to thank Vaughn for this opportunity. I love it.
Reporting from Texas A&M, Hannah King, KRHD News.
The long-term symptoms of COVID range from fatigue to extreme neurological pain. Some health experts have long been worried about the mental consequences.
We could see, for lack of a better term, we could see the storm clouds building, and we've known this from the very beginning.
Retired Northwestern professor and psychologist Dr. Mark Renicky is treating COVID long-haul patients, and studies estimate roughly 10% of people who get COVID have long-haul symptoms. And now that the country has made progress addressing the physical components of the disease, he says that more emphasis is needed on the long-term consequences.
And so there's at least 3 different groups of very specific individuals who are having difficulty adjusting to the long-term effects of COVID. And that doesn't let it go. That doesn't even touch upon those who have had relatives or friends or family pass away, or have lost their jobs, or their corporation, their businesses collapsed. You know, there's all manner of long-term consequences of COVID that we're going to have to contend with for years to come.
The doctor points out there is a lot of research being done on COVID long hauler, but it's scattered. Talking to us and in a Chicago Tribune op-ed, he proposed some solutions like a national COVID response office to coordinate the development of evidence-based programs to address the social and emotional consequences of the pandemic, opening community-based centers to treat chronic COVID conditions, and training medical professionals in evidence-based care of psychological and social consequences of COVID-19, and making sure that chronic COVID and PTSD patients and children who had multi-system inflammatory syndrome have a mental health provider. Now, all of that could help prevent some of the worst stories that we've heard of when it comes to COVID long-haul patients ending their life. A poll about long COVID from online support group Survivor Corps found that nearly 18% of its members who answered said that they had thought about suicide.
One is the installation of hope, a sense of a positive future that is out there. The notion that it may be different than the way your life has been in the past, but it can be positive.
Ahead in our lineup, we catch up with the Scripps Spelling Bee winner as she logs thousands of miles around the country. Courage and persistence, just 2 qualities that embody the grit and determination needed for success. And for the last 25 years, a program's been teaching thousands of kids these core values in a unique way. Usher Qureshi takes a look at the program and communities across the country that is building character one board at a time.
How does that feel?
With their safety pads strapped and bright green helmets in place, these 11 to 13-year-olds are learning the basics of skateboarding.
That's pretty good.
But it's more than that.
Our mission is to help kids overcome challenges through board sports. So we do skateboarding, we do surfing, stand-up paddleboarding, as well as snowboarding.
Each year, 3,000 children around the world take part in the Chill Foundation's unique youth development program.
We have different youth that come from all different backgrounds, so this may be even their first time experiencing a board sport.
The aim is to help them focus their energy in positive ways to overcome personal obstacles.
A lot of the things I'll focus on with them is making sure that the confidence is always going to be present there, and that grit is also present.
Chill currently offers programs in 24 cities in 10 countries throughout the world, including Denver, Salt Lake City, Baltimore, Grand Rapids, and Chicago. Through board sports, they focus on 6 core values:
respect, courage, persistence, patience, responsibility, and pride.
Look at where you're going.
A lot of times that means falling down, but not giving up.
Having that courage is definitely vital to helping them get through the skateboarding program and also throughout life.
That's super important for me, that they understand that they are not failing, that they're overcoming that small little challenge, and if they're falling, it's because they're progressing.
Jalea Williams has taken a number of tumbles on this day.
From the ramp to south, probably 4 to 5.
But the rambunctious 11-year-old has no intention of yielding to the half-pipes or the boards.
What do you want to be able to do?
Definitely learn more tricks. I learned how to do the one you flip the skateboard over when you jump. I learned that one. Haven't done it in a while due to COVID and stuff.
It's also about camaraderie.
Being with the other girls is fun because we all help each other out and none of us laugh at each other when we fall. So if we do fall, it's not sad because we'll just pick each other up again.
Noble life lessons we all could learn from. Reporting from Chicago, I'm Usher Qureshi.
Now let's get a check of the weather with First Alert meteorologist Caleb Chevalier.
Thank you, Hallie. Today we saw a couple showers in the area, but that's really going to do it for any sort of rain over the next few days. Tonight we're looking at partly to mostly clear conditions as temperatures drop into those mid-70s. So here's what tomorrow looks like. Really a whole lot of nothing. Just a few clouds in the area. Again, there won't be any rain to speak of anywhere close to us for that matter, because high pressure is moving in and it's going to be taking control for some time. Sunday looks the same, just a few clouds dashing through the area, and other than that, it's going to be hot and dry. And certainly this is going to sound kind of a broken record after a little while, but that's just the kind of weather that we're going to be dealing with for the next little while. So tomorrow, here's how it's going to shape up. Starting today, 8 a.m. at 77 degrees, 89 by 12 o'clock, and our high will be right around 95 to 96, so 4 o'clock definitely going to be hot. Could feel right around 99 to 100 during that time because of the humidity, and 82 degrees for your 10 p.m. temperature, still with just a few clouds in the area. So that high pressure right now, well, it's over the Gulf, but it's going to be sliding in, and check out what that does to the rain. You can see there's rain on the corners of the map, but over Texas, well, there's really none to speak of. And yes, the high will drift to the west over the next few days, but not much. So really, this kind of pattern is going to stay in place for a while, keeping us very toasty and on the dry side. On this 10-day forecast, there is no rain to speak of. We've got 0% all across the board. 97 on Monday, partly cloudy to mostly sunny all through the next few days. And we're not going to get warmer than 97, but that's still plenty hot. Your afternoons could feel upwards of 100 degrees.
The pandemic changed the way we do a lot of things. And now a survey shows that people spent more time relaxing and thinking and less time socializing. This is according to the American Time Use Survey. In 2020, people spent more time sleeping, watching TV, and playing games, among other things. Less time was spent socializing and communicating in person than the previous year. Adults also spent more hours taking care of their children.
Murraya.
That is correct.
And with that, Zaila Avantgarde became the first African-American girl to win the Scripps National Spelling Bee. Now, she loves Whitney Houston. She holds 3 Guinness World Records and has become a national celebrity overnight. But as Chris Conti shows us, she's still staying humble to her roots.
The dictionary defines confidence as a state of certainty.
Hey, spelling bee champ.
A word often tossed around with little thought. But Zaila Avantgarde is confident in her skills both on and off the court.
Game over.
Murraya.
That is correct.
That's Zaila winning this year's Scripps National Spelling Bee Championship. The winning word was Mariah, a citrus flower found in the Pacific. That's not, though, how Zaila remembered it.
So did you know the last word, or you used the strategy to
Oh
spell?
no, I knew the last word. You can't strategize your way through all words. There are plenty of words, like exceptions you have to use different strategies or just know them. And Maria, I just knew it because my strategy for that word was remembering Bill Murray.
Aside from Bill Murray, she loves Whitney Houston, holds 3 Guinness World Records for dribbling, can run circles around most English teachers, and yet does not care much about the $50,000 grand prize she just brought home.
Money's useful. It has some uses, but trophies, one, I could sell that or pawn it, which I would never do. Never, ever. I will starve first.
You're going to pawn the trophy.
No, I'll starve first. I would never, ever do it. But trophies are that's something you can always look at. You can't really always look at money or something.
In the last 2 weeks, this 12-year-old has been on Jimmy Kimmel, made an appearance at the ESPYs, even flown to Manhattan to visit the New York Times.
Are you tired?
No.
You're not tired?
No.
She has logged thousands of miles in the air, but this newly minted frequent flyer only has one takeaway from traveling.
What have you liked the most about the last couple weeks?
Traveling and when the airplanes have TVs, I really like that part.
Back at home in Harvey, Louisiana, Zaila is a local celebrity. Her mom shot this video of a parade the town held in her honor last week. None of this happened by accident. Zaila actually prepared for the bee by prepping with other spellers from previous years.
So you have to have strategy, right? Because you're never going to learn every word in the dictionary.
Yeah, roots are my strategy. Roots, like knowing roots, is kind of like a file cabinet.
As for being the first African-American student to take home the title, that symbolism is not lost on her either.
What do you hope other kids maybe take away from this whole thing?
That they can do it, and that it's possible to be done, and that they probably need to study a lot to win.
If Webster's is looking to redefine the word role model,
Yeah.
we've got a pretty good recommendation.
There's only one more point.
In Harvey, Louisiana, I'm Krhd.
And finally in our lineup, the time it takes to drive to work isn't as important to people as it once was. How this is impacting home prices. As the auto industry continues to struggle with a global chip shortage, General Motors will temporarily shut down most of its pickup production. Starting Monday, GM will halt production at its Fort Wayne, Indiana assembly plant for a week. It's where most full-size models like the Chevy Silverado 1500 and GMC Sierra 1500 are built. Home buyers' priorities are changing when they're looking for a house. This is according to data from Zillow that distance and commute time to work isn't as important as it once was.
Before the pandemic, most people mentioned that they were looking at places within a 30 to 45-minute commute, sometimes up to an hour, but not really beyond that. That was kind of the limit that most people had set.
Today, people care more about affordability and price, they say, and they're more willing to live far away from city and urban centers. Data from Zillow shows that homes that are within a 10-minute drive of those downtown job centers are among the most expensive homes in 18 American cities. And now that home buyers aren't putting so much weight on their commute, prices of those homes are dropping in some places.
So in really expensive markets, we're seeing home values growing a lot faster, further out from job centers. So that's showing us that there's more demand for these longer commute times.
Researchers at Zillow expect prices in city centers and suburban areas to even out as people move out to more affordable areas. Well, there's a new push to make health insurance companies pay for infertility treatments. On Monday, why the current system can be complex to navigate for families and what could change for hopeful parents in the future.
Here are some of the stories we're working on for Krhd News at 6. We'll take a deeper look into how the City of College Station's fire department is working to bridge the gap in a shortage of paramedics. Plus, we'll have more on the potential of Texas and Oklahoma leaving the Big 12 for the SEC, including reaction from Aggies. These stories and more coming up at the top of the hour. World News Tonight is just ahead, and we're back in 30 minutes for Krhd News at 6. Until then, have a great evening.